Hello, everyone. This is Caillou, and welcome to the finals of Grand Prix Bergignon. I don't know how to pronounce that. Sorry for butchering it. Um, for the Revolution format. Today, we're going to see two decks that I think are really motivated by the most recent set to rotate into the format, which is Duelists of Varro. We have Matt, actually the designer of Duelists of Varro, who's going to be on a red-white sort of uh, Rebels aggro list. One of the mechanics from Duelists of Varro is Dare, which, as we can see here, let's make this a little bigger, um, makes it so that there's a certain condition on which you can have a creature become a legendary rebel, and whenever creatures dare, you can have certain effects based on that. Um, on the other side of the table, we have Epid, who is playing five color control based around uh, the new hotness, literally, Hold to the Flame. It's an incredibly powerful uh, control slash just general like payoff. Um, and Epid's basically running it with some of the powerful. Uh, there's some spells like that cost reduce themselves, but also Epid's just kind of playing like a rampy, greedy control deck that just has a bunch of wipes. Um, so like there's the Harrow, there's the and then look, the Harrow into Magmatic Shards, into Righteous Shards are all terrifying. The biggest problem is that all of Epid's lands cost life, and Epid's sort of just spinning their wheels for the first few turns. Matt has already played a turn one Bravewing Hero, and is likely just going to be curving that into, let's say, I don't know, like Spirited Protest is pretty decent here. You go turn two uh, Spirited Protest. Um, Turn three, honestly, I think I could see the Mob Instigator. Or actually, wait. Yeah, okay. So yeah, to turn two, Spirited Protest. Next turn, Mob Instigator plus yeah, just Mob Instigator. Uh, and if you hit a third land, you play Unburned Maiden instead. It's a little bit awkward, obviously, not having either double R or the third land. But I mean, it's still incredibly powerful because what you play Mob Instigator next turn. You can stack the trigger so that you have uh, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power. Uh, Actually, 8, 9, because you can also sack Spirited Protest to give Mob Instigator haste. Uh, so yeah, that chunks Epid down to half of their health very early on into the game. And by very early on into the game, I mean like literally on their before they've played their third turn. So pretty not bad, all things considered. Epid is just gonna play Gilded Court, tap Luxurious Estate, play Hold to the Flame. They they really don't have anything else they can do. Okay, and a top deck Bravewing hero from Matt. Uh, fortunately, the Dare here is a May. Otherwise, that would be a very sticky situation for playing multiples. But you play this, you play Mob Instigator. Um, like Epid's just dead in two. Epid's dead before they can play anything other than a Harrow. So yeah, this is really dicey for Epid here. Understandable. Like I sometimes you just have to make the quote unquote bad keep, but also like this is a pretty painful keep to have to make. I wonder what Matt was thinking about there. Uh, Maybe thinking of a turn where you can sequence Mob Instigator with Ferocious Flame. I mean, I don't see any reason not to just go for it. Um, so Braving becomes a 2/2. Then Mob Instigator pumps everything. And then why don't I feel like you can just sack Spirited Protest right here? Maybe a saving Spirited Protest for a third land and then immediate Unburnt Maiden. But I think really this is a matchup where Unburnt Maiden is really good, but like Epid's deck has wipe after wipe, so it's not really going to be as useful. You really just want to get under. Uh, my that's my impression. You just really want to just get under what Epid is doing. So yeah, I think that it's a minor thing. I don't know how much it's going to matter though. Yeah, okay. Another magmatic shards. All of these are would be really cool and great if only Epid had the mana to cast them. Is kind of the issue. And I think is Epid just dead on board if they play one of the if they play like luxurious estate or if they pay 3 life here, they go to 8. Uh, Matt doesn't have literally lethal on board, but if Matt has any creatures, or as far as Epid knows, they aren't literally dead. But if Matt has any creatures, they are. And Matt has 3 cards in hand, so like, and they haven't played a third land, so it must be all gas in some senses. So like, I think it's weird because it's like a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment. Epid can either just play. I guess you play New Divide tap, but then really you don't win. I think you have to play to your out. So you play New Divide, untap it, yeah, grab a forest, and then you have to harrow and hope to hit a land off the top, and then magmatic shards, and that's sort of your only out. Unfortunately, Matt just wins right here. Yeah, again, Hold to the Flame is a really powerful engine. It does not matter if you can't, if you don't have any cards to navigate around it. I think Matt is doing a think here, but I don't think. I'm trying to think about what Matt could be trying to play around here from Epid. Um, let's look at Epid's deck list quickly. Yeah, there really isn't anything. That's kind of the problem with Epid's deck, right? Is that Epid's deck does not have, like, it's entirely teched for the conceit of Hold to the Flame, so it doesn't have any spot removal. It's all wipes all the time, and it doesn't have any cheap instants. So Matt literally doesn't have to think about or worry about anything here. And yeah, Epid's just gonna call the GG, and that's a quick game 1. Um, that's like probably about a 7-minute game 1. So now we're heading into game 2. Let's look at sideboarding options these players could bring to bear. So just pulling this over here. So in Epid's deck, there's more wipes and Righteous Shards. Ripple Surge, I think, is kind of just for. I'm not quite sure what the Ripple Surges are for. Ripple Surge actually feels kind of really bad in this deck, and I don't know if I'm misevaluating that, but maybe you get excessive mana and you can just use it to really close out the game. Fury Call Hellion, I guess it's another piece of removal. Gustav is a cheap spell. Tenzin Hospitality is another thing. Harsh Courtesy. I mean, I think honestly, I don't know what you bring in if you're Epid, right? Do you just bring in all your wipes? Because you're already super heavy on the wipes. I guess maybe not as much. 6 wipes main board, so maybe you bring in more Righteous Shards, more Silent Dawn, so that you're guaranteed to on turn 5 have the ability to kill. But yeah, the deck I think is teched for more greedier matchups, or at least aggro decks where you can reasonably turn 4 wipe them and then have that and then just kind of carry the game from there, which you kind of can do against Matt, especially if you're on the play. But yeah, it's a Matt just has so much like burst potential. From Matt in the sideboard, I think you definitely bring in another. I think you definitely bring in another Lichbane Ward Wielder. It's just such a good. If I have mana up, what are you gonna do? Revolutionary Class is pretty good at rebuilding from anti-wipes. Queen Andarli is, I think, really good here for stuff like Magmatic Shards. Uh, Scorching Condemnation. Yeah, Scorching Condemnation is good because it dodges wipes. So I could see any and all of those coming in. Maybe instead of some of the higher end stuff like Florina and Brawlet, perhaps. Okay, looking at hands for game two. Epid brought in the harsh courtesies. I guess it kind of makes sense given what we saw from Matt's deck list, right? There's Revolutionary Class, Love of a Lifetime, and I guess if you're worried about Scorching Condemnations from the side, it does feel a little weird given that Matt's like primary like WinCon is aggro, right? And I feel like you want to just play towards that, but maybe not. Epid is Epid keeping this hand? Epid is going to keep at 7. Um, turn 4 Dreamfall is pretty great. Uh, but again, doesn't have any plays before turn 4 other than Harsh Courtesy. This deck is really looking to slow roll it. On Matt's end, kept at 6. Turn 1 Bravewing Hero. Turn 2... No, turn 2... Can you turn 2? You can't really turn to assemble the mob. That is the problem with Contested Passage, right? Is that it has a weird non-bow with assemble the mob. So probably, I guess I guess you can still just oh, actually, no. You probably actually want to curve it. Turn 1 Bravewing, turn 2 Revolutionary Class, turn 3 Assemble the Mob with Contested Passage. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It's still not a hand that is... It's not a hand that is like fast enough to, I think, get under Epid just dirtling until they hit Dreamfall. Especially with now studies in cognitive motion, this is incredibly powerful in giving Epid an actual turn 2 play here. Yeah, so it's just going to play the new divide, pay the 2 life. And then what do you discard here to studies? You just literally discard Reality Gyre, Harsh Courtesy. I mean, I don't hate it. I really don't hate it. Oh, no, you don't have double blue. Okay, it's just going to Harsh Courtesy. Oh, Bravewing Hero does naturally have flying. That does work. Okay, that's hilarious. Sorry, for some reason I missed that Epid didn't actually have double blue for studies. That's dumb. But yeah, the Harsh Courtesy to kill the Bravewing makes sense. So now Matt is left to like a slow roll hand when Epid has tons of filtering and can just Dreamfall at any point if they need to. So I mean, yeah, like right here, you just play. Yeah, I think you play contest. Yeah, you play Contested Passage. It's kind of awkward, ain't it? Won't have turn 4 Dreamfall mana. I guess it doesn't really matter because Matt is not presenting any threats currently. But here Matt is just going to, play, immediately crack the Contested Passage, assemble the mob, swing for 4, draw a card off Revolutionary Class. You can't be, like, you're not, you can't be unhappy with that under the circumstances. So yeah, assemble the mob coming down. Yeah, Matt waiting for a response, but I literally don't think Epid has any responses I guess, yeah, I don't think Epid has any possible responses up at this point in the game. So it's going to swing out for 4 here. I think an interesting factor of Matt's deck is that outside of the Ferocious Flames, I don't think that Matt has like a ton of reach necessarily. Like, it's got a lot of great grind potential and a lot of great burst potential, but it's sort of in the weird middle ground where, like, I think that Epid's deck can naturally just sort of, if Matt doesn't have the burst, just have better grind and not have to worry about being face burned out. So Epid grabbing a plains there. Okay, and another Dreamfall. I actually, I wonder. Well, okay, I guess you just play Gilded Court here. Yeah, you play Gilded Court here. End of Matt's turn. turn it to white, and then you have Dreamfall online. You got double Dreamfall, um, and then I guess the turn after that you turn it to blue to Studies in Cognitive Motion. This is again this being a 5 color deck I think is, and the mana base requirements is a little sus, um, but it does let you play like a powerful assortment of cards. I'm just not convinced that it's more consistent than other iterations. Um, okay, Matt is going to tap out. Brawl It coming down. So Epid's getting smacked for another 4 here. Um, and we see Matt actually did cite an Revoke Existence for Hold to the Flame. Does make sense as an option. So Epid's going down to half their life total. And yeah, on end, Epid could play Reality Gyre, but I think that's not having any lands in hand and not knowing what you're going to draw into. I think that's courting trouble, especially since you're effectively you're Ferocious Flame off lethal next turn. So I think the reliable play is just Gilded Court to white. Epid's thinking about it though. I think that this is a mistake. If Epid played the Reality Gyre, I think that would have been a big mistake. But is just gonna Gilded Court to white, untap Dreamfall. Weaving of the World is another good stabilization piece for Epid, but yeah, I can just play Dreamfall, and from here the game becomes pretty hard for Matt. Stuck on a Codename High Life and a Symbol of the Revolution. Like, I guess, Symbol of the Revolution, Codename High Life, they both trigger Revolutionary Class, so you're drawing into stuff. Like, it's not the worst. But Epid now has sort of complete control of the game. Because, again, Epid can wipe at their leisure. Reality Gyre means that they have insane amounts of both ramp and just card flow. As soon as they hit another green source, Weaving of the World is sort of threatening to like gain Epid a bunch of life. Revolutionary Class on the Symbol of the Revolution is pretty annoying for Epid, because it means that the symbol is going to continue to put a quick clock on him. But yeah, I mean, you don't Dreamfall for just the symbol. I think you probably just pass Reality Gyre on end. Yeah. Again, Epid's mana is doing some really funky things here, where ideally Epid would have double blue here or double green. Like, double blue obviously ideal for Dismiss or Studies in Cognitive Motion, but instead has to really rely on these Reality Gyres to draw Epid into more lands. Meanwhile, Matt can... Oh, and Symbol of the Revolution just daring into... Okay, he's going to play Codename High Life. Okay. I mean, yeah, why... Actually, yeah, I mean, that's actually pretty cracked, because you Codename High Life, equip Symbol of the Revolution, Revolutionary Class +1 counter, it becomes a 4/3, Codename High Life triggers at end of turn, Epid's on 6 life and you have a bunch of stuff. The problem is Epid just Reality Gyres on end, Dreamfalls again next turn. But again, I think now we're getting to life totals where Epid is legitimately a threat, especially with Matt having Contested Passage in hand. Like, at 6 life... Ooh, it's dicey. Epid is... If Matt top decks and assemble the mob here, Epid is 1 life off death. Which obviously Epid could still survive and come back from that, but it's a constant worry, I would say. Yeah, an on-end step is going to make 2 1/1s. Epid playing out Reality Gyre. I don't even know what your best hits are. I guess two lands is not the worst. Um, really hurts that there isn't another blue source here. Uh, like I because ideally you would go like I guess there isn't really an ideal situation there because you have to Dreamfall and you can't play anything else. I guess ideally you would hit like Mountain, other basic, Hold to the Flame, so you can Hold to the Flame plus Dreamfall. But yeah, here I think you just play the second Gilded Court and then tap it to give yourself double blue or like double blue or I guess double. I guess you need double green because you need to play Weaving of the Worlds as soon as possible. Or maybe Studies is more important. I don't know. But no, you already have double green from the forest. What am I saying? So yeah, you cast Dreamfall on Epid's end step, or sorry, on Matt's end step. You Gilded Court into blue, and then you're in a sort of safe position. Unfortunately, Matt also does have another symbol of the revolution. So Matt is flooding out hard here, though. Symbol of Revolution will draw another card. Um, and again, if it is assembled a mob, Epid is just dead at this point. Nope, nope. We're going to Flood City. That I mean, that isn't a good. Oh, Matt. Oh yeah, Matt's just gonna equip a lifelink gadget to the symbol. Makes sense. Doesn't hurt to. Um, and I mean, Symbol of Revolution alone kills Epid, just because it can dare into a 6/6. So Epid needs to place. Oh well. Okay, I guess Righteous Shards work. Right, Righteous Shards works here, and Righteous Shards is actually pretty great. Righteous Shards is pretty great here because you hold it up, and it means that even if Matt hits like again an assembled a mob or something, you nab those two, and gaining 6 life on Epid's end is so much more valuable than gaining 6 life on Matt's end at this point. So actually, oh, and this also exiles the lifelink gadgets and the revolutionary class. Yeah, this is the perfect top deck for Epid. Or wait, oh wait, no, it doesn't because Symbol of the Revolution gets vigilance when it dares. Ah! Ah! Oh no! Wait, hold on. So wait, oh. So Epid should have. No, but Matt didn't dare it. Why didn't Matt dare it? Why didn't Matt dare it or play Unburned Maiden? Oh wait, no. It's you can dare at instant speed. Is Matt gonna attack first before daring? I mean, I think these are both like these are not like crazy sequencing quote unquote mistakes. It requires like a keen awareness of like sort of factors that you wouldn't expect to be like you're usually when you're playing Magic, right? You're thinking of like I want to hold my options until the very last second. But it is like such a uh what is Matt thinking about? Is Matt thinking about whether or not to attack? Matt's thinking about if I want to dare before attacks or not. I mean, yeah, you got him, Matt. Hmm. Dare dare two? Dare 2 would put it back to the same thing. So it's not Dare 2, it's Dare 4, right? Yeah, so Dare 4 makes it exactly lethal. Even then, it's not actually lethal here because Epid can Righteous Shards to just gain 6, but it puts Epid in so much worse of a position, right? I think in this case you choose all modes except the first. So you gain 6, draw a card to try and draw into something else, and then exile the Revolutionary class and the lifelink gadgets. Which again, the lifelink gadgets don't really matter that much, but yeah. Paying 5 for what? What costs 5? Okay, so, I was like, nothing in Epid's hand costs 5 unless your studies in cognitive motioning and like hard casting, but that doesn't make sense, yeah. So Righteous Shards, and I'm assuming all modes except the first. Oh, Epid isn't going to actually do the symmetrical draw. I think that's a mistake, maybe. I think you care more about the cards than Matt does at this. I guess you have. I guess Epid has other sources of card advantage, but I think because again you're really playing with fire at that point. I think to not draw. Okay, Epid back to 6. So Epid's dead next turn again. Matt's sitting at a healthy 32 life in his aggro deck. Yeah, this is kind of like I think Epid's deck is weird in that like if Epid had a hold to the flame out right now, this would be big money. As it is, you're essentially playing wipes as like incredibly overcosted removal spells. And like Matt ideally should have won this game if Matt did already if Matt didn't have like an incredibly slow start of his own, right? Like a kind of clunky one. But Epid like I don't know. Cuz Epid's deck just like spun its wheels for like forever. Okay, let's see what Epid hits. Another land. Ah. So so the issue here is I guess there's multiple issues here. So yeah, if you studies in cognitive motion here, you're putting yourself off Dreamfall mana unless you pay 3 life into luxurious estate. Uh, so that's a liability because Matt has a new divide up, so having to play that line means you die to assemble the mob. Uh, so ideally, because you have because yeah, is there a tap here that works for? Yeah, there's a tap here that works for Reality Gyre, but then I guess the problem with Reality Gyre is if you hit any wipe that isn't well, I guess no, no. Okay, I guess if you hit any wipe that isn't okay, so Magmatic Shards doesn't work anyways. Righteous Shards kind of works in that it saves you for another turn. Um, but does it? So you wait, because you had to play it, you have to lose 3 to estate. You gain 6, so you need to be at 9. You need to have 9. Matt can dare 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Matt can just kill through Aritius shards. So you need to. So I think the line is you have to play Reality Gyre and then hope to draw another copy of Dreamfall. Wait, how many copies of Dreamfall is Epid running? Is Epid only running 2 Dreamfalls? Okay, I'm gonna disregard the fact that I'm just pulling up the deck list. I'm moving it over here. I'm just looking at it. Um, let's take a peek. Um, I guess there's Silent Dawn. I guess Silent Dawn also works. Oh, right as I say that, Epid draws into Silent Dawns. Okay, so Silent Dawn works here. And the Scry 2 isn't negligible because, again, Epid is like. Epid's sort of at the point where it's just like, on God, just give me a hold to the flame and I'll carry this game from here. So what did Epid bought? Okay, so Epid bottomed 2, bottomed Harrow, bottomed Gilded Court, makes sense. Lichbane Ward Wielder. I'm trying to think of what it actually. Choose new targets for target spell or ability. Don't know that it does much. Okay. Unburned Maiden yet again presents a threat. Because how much does this kit attack for? Okay, so it attacks for like. Okay, so this attacks for 4 next turn maximum, which isn't great. Again, it really comes down to Matt needs to hit some specific top decks. Okay, Magmatic Shards. Okay, so Epid just plays Magmatic Shards, kills the Unburned Maiden and the token. And there isn't like a targeting factor here, so it's not like. I guess, I mean, obviously there isn't, but. And how much mana does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it doesn't have enough for Magmatic Shards plus Dismiss. Actually, it doesn't. Wait, doesn't have enough to Magmatic Shards at all. What am I talking about? Doesn't have double red. So needs to. Oh, okay. So we're still on. Okay, I was about to say we're still on Matt potentially having an out, but instead Matt drew a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Matt has more lands out than Epid. Matt flooded out so badly this game. Uh, this is kind of wild. Okay, so with Epid down to 3 life, that means Assemble the Mob. Does Assemble the Mob kill? No, Magmatic Shards are instant, so that doesn't do it. You need. Does Ferocious Flame even work? No, because you don't have a way to get a 4-power creature in that case. If yeah, I don't think there's anything that works, right? There's no like hasty way to kill. And again, that's a problem with the lack of burn. I mean, I guess drawing out Magmatic Shards turn after turn means that Epid is eventually just gonna have to like go down to the bottom of not having any cards, but well, Weaving of the World certainly helps with stabilization too. And Epid still does not have enough mana to Weaving of the Worlds plus Magmatic Shards. It's really like, Matt, can I have some of your lands? That mountain, perhaps? That new divide? Yeah, you have to hold up Magmatic Shards here. There's literally no other option. Okay? Am I counting wrong? What's going on here? Oh no, Weaving gets you another land. Honestly, I forget that this thing has relevant text on its first modes. Okay, so fine. So you play Weaving, you get yourself a mountain ideally because you don't want to have to pay one life into Luxurious Estate because that puts you in Ferocious Flame range. So it does tip your hand a little bit, but like, what's Matt gonna do about it? Really, Matt doesn't have like ways to play around it. Can Matt? Okay, yeah. So just gonna grab a mountain. This is maybe the stupidest Mexican standoff I've ever seen. Yeah, I was hovering over Witchbane Ward Wielder for that exact reason. NDB. I was like, what if can it do something with Magmatic Shards' second mode? No, that's not how either of the cards work, but it would be really funny. Okay. Cracking one of the new divides now. Okay, that's not awful. I don't crack both because you might need one of them. Revolutionary class. Okay, it draws off the Unburnt Maiden. I guess if you're Epid, you don't want to let that happen, so you. Is this a start of combat? It's attack, so you want a Magmatic Shard at start of combat, right? Yeah. So it's just gonna Magmatic Shards and kill everything. And if you're Matt, if you're Matt, I think you have to revoke existence, the weaving of the world, right? Like Hold of the Flame is scary, for sure. But I don't know that you're in a position where you can safely just be like, I'll save it. Like if Epid top decks the Hold to the Flame, I think you just hold that. Um, I guess you can wait another turn, but I don't think giving Epid another land is like I don't think that waiting the turn to really make sure makes sense, especially because Epid's tapped out now and can't potentially counter your revoke existence. So I think you want to revoke existence here. Yeah. Oh no, wait. Okay, it's just gonna revolutionary class instead. Okay. Okay. It's just showing less of your hand. The reason I wouldn't have done this is because with revoke existence you can still have Lichbane Ward Wielder up without having to use New Divide, which means that you still have the potential to assemble the mob off of it. Okay, Epid just draw land passes. Oh, Matt is just gonna crack the New Divide. At this point, oh, okay, and it's gonna play the Lichbane Ward Wielder for 0 value to just draw off Revolutionary Class. I guess the idea is it forces Epid to have a wipe, or yeah, wipe or interaction, because Revolutionary Class makes it into a 3/3 which kills Epid. But like, yeah, yeah. I guess just playing to the out at that point. Oh, Epid's letting that resolve. I don't know that I love that. I guess the idea is that like if you dismiss it, then you don't have mana to Magmatic Shards without putting yourself in without putting yourself. No, wait, no, you do. Wait, what? No, yeah, you Epid totally could have dismissed that and then not let Matt draw an extra card. Okay. So why are you playing Mob Instigator? Why are you doing this? To try and draw into a Ferocious Flame? Yeah, this still doesn't make sense. There's really no reason to play Mob Instigator before trying to force the issue on Ward Wielder. Right? Yeah, there's no... Okay. And then Epid has to Magmatic Shards. Take that, Spiraling Canyon. Or is Epid not going to destroy Spiraling Canyon in fear of it getting Lichbane Ward Wieldered? I don't... That actually makes sense, honestly. Oh no, is going to target the Spiraling Canyon. Does... Okay, I'm like out of my mind right now. So let's see. Does Lichbane Ward Wielder cop? No, it can't actually. Yeah, does Lichbane Ward Wielder changing the target on that uh substantially cut Epid off mana at this point? I guess not with the contested passage live. I guess Epid just has too many lands for it to matter at this point. Okay, but I mean, Epid or Matt drew another Lichbane Ward Wielder, so it's sort of it's the same situation again, right? Matt just plays Lichbane Ward Wielder on end, dares Epid to do something about it. If Epid doesn't have an answer, Matt wins. Ripple Surge. Ah, okay. I mean, I talked smack about Ripple Surge, but it's actually quite fine here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. So you can cast 8 mana's worth of stuff. So you can cast. Can you cast any? Yeah, so you can cast Instant Speed, Dreamfall plus Reality Gyre. Seems pretty not bad. I don't think you board your burn in this matchup. So I think it's just Matt. I mean, look at how many lands Matt has drawn so far. I think Matt is just getting uh, incredibly flooded slash hit with some of the not so great in the late game cards. Okay, so Epid is just going to dismiss this? Yeah, okay. Because you still have Ripple Surge wipe up if there's any shenanigans. Trying to figure out how to tap mana in this deck would give me a heart attack, I am saying. Oh my god, and there's the... Halfway through the deck, we find the first hole to the flame. And it looks like Matt did board in a Queen Undarly. Uh, Again, this is still pretty sad. Yeah, so you let the Queen Undarly resolve, right? Wait, what is the opposite side of Ukshu? Okay, it doesn't actually make... No, it's the black-white one that makes tokens, right? Okay. Ukshu is not actually that important. Um, okay, you make Queen Undarly into a 3-2. Revolutionary class has really been the MVP for Matt. It's really, I think without it, Matt would have been out of the game like ages ago. I mean, I think Matt is now just out of the game, but we'll see. I mean, yeah, you cast Hold to the Flame, pass, and you feel pretty good about yourself, or is there something I'm missing that could potentially screw with that? No, I think that's just the play, right? You play Hold to the Flame. Yeah. I'm maybe I'm missing something, but I really think that is just the play. Surge is instant, yeah. So 9 mana's worth here. So you could. I mean, I guess Hold to the Flame will naturally kill Queen and Darley, so you don't even need to like recur a wipe here if you don't want to. Could just like go Reality Gyre, Harsh Courtesy, or like Studies plus Harsh Courtesy. And Harsh Courtesy exiling the Revolutionary class. Oh no, Epid is just going to tap out for it. Okay. What in God's name? Ripple Surge for 9. A Ripple Surge for 7. What is it? I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So it's Ripple Surge for 7. So I don't know why. I don't know why you hold this. To be honest, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know why you don't hold this. Am I missing something? I feel like you just hold this for the wipe potential, right? I guess you gain. I guess if you choose right discharge, you can gain 6 life, and that means that you don't insta lose to assemble the mob. So yeah, it looks like it's just gonna recast. Wait, what? Am I missing something? It's total mana value X or less, right? Not. Has Epid been playing Ripple Surge or been reading Ripple Surge wrong this entire damn tournament? What? No way. No way. No way. What you doing, buddy? Guess any number of target instant or resource. Yeah. Or is Epid just sort of shuffling around their decisions? What is going on in the mind of Epid right now? See, this is definitely the thing I hate about live casting. Is when I'm just recording a commentary. Whenever there's these long pauses, I can just like cut it out. When I'm on live, I have to live with the uncomfortable silence of what is going on right now. Okay, is going to get Studies in Cognitive Motion and Hold to the Flame kill on Darley, but this loses to fetch plus assemble the mob, but Matt already wasted all of his fetches, so I guess it doesn't. Okay, and the funny part is, even though Matt was at like 30 plus life, Hold to the Flame still stacks like crazy quick. Okay, so it's gonna bin, explore, luxurious estate, draw into Reality Guy, or another Studies in Cognitive Motion and dismiss. Okay, no board control, but Studies means that you're like really likely to draw into another one. Okay, Matt with how many is Matt has not hit a single Ferocious Flame. You know what? You were asking about whether Matt boarded it out. Maybe Matt did board it out. And only a single assemble the mob. Spirited Protest gives Unburned Maiden haste. Does Matt just win? Oh, Matt just wins. Right? Because you unburnt maiden. Yeah, because you unburnt maiden, she becomes a 4/4, and Matt just wins. I guess 4 5 5 in total. Why did Epid play the? Why did Ep? Why did Epid play the ripple surge on their turn? It's an instant. No. Oh, it's painful to see such a long and like fraught game end with one mistake, one sequence of draws like that. But I mean, Matt held on to his like Matt was like out of this game like three separate times, but like just clawed his way back with the revolutionary class and stayed in it. So good games to both of them, and I think this is the first time we have had a sets designer winning not only I think it's the first time we've had a sets designer win a tournament a Revolution GP period, let alone the first uh, rotation tournament. So kind of crazy. But yeah, uh, thanks everyone for watching. Stick around for a second. I'm gonna see if I can grab our winner and get a little bit of an interview. So, doo-doo-doo. Cool. I'm gonna be calling Matt now. As soon as Discord loads on me. Okay. In the meantime, can I switch it to this? Yeah, sure. And then let's just pull up the deck lists and stuff. So display cap, drawing display capture. Let's do this one. And then let's make my video capture device not like this. Uh, okay, cool. Stuff is working. Oh, okay. I forgot that I called you in the middle of all that. Right. Okay. Hello, Matt. So, congratulations on winning Grand Prix. I still don't know how to pronounce it. You're the sets designer. Tell me how Berg, Berg Bergignon. Okay. So, I think this is pretty interesting in terms of a list because red like aggro lists in red and white were sort of like still like in the meta, but very much like it was focusing on mono red splash white. The decks, quote unquote, to beat coming into the tournament seemed to be phoenixes and really greedy control decks. And then you kind of swooped in with this red white, uh, I guess tokens, uh, revolt list. Um, so oh yeah, also I cut out the I need to turn on my desktop audio. Right. So talk to us about like how you conceived of this list and what was your expectations with regards to it.
Well, I mean, I kind of just wanted to play with a bunch of the new cards, and Bravewing Hero plus Mob Instigator are both one drops that, like, if you put them together, they can stack up a bunch of damage because you put Bravewing Heroes down, and then with a Mob Instigator like already on the board, or even if you play one after you played a Bravewing Hero, it triggers the Mob Instigator's buff on everything, and since they both cost one, and you can also pair that with Assemble the Mob with New Divide or Contested Passage as well, you can just make like some huge board out of nowhere, and all the creatures are kind of good on their own or like fine on their own anyway. So I was like, I have this angle of a weird kind of like combo by playing some 1-drops and assemble the mob and hitting for like 15 or something out of nowhere, but then also just having like Unburnt Maidens and the Symbol the Revolution, like are just sort of decent creatures that can play longer games, but like still be fine to just curve off after you've dumped all your 1-drops and 2-drops out. And the Revolutionary class is just like a good way to not just die. Like in that game I just played where I had like 10 lands or something at the end of the game, but because I'd had a few Revolutionary classes that like managed to stay on the board for a while, even though one of them got destroyed by the shards at some point. I just didn't really run out of cards too much. I mean, part of that was because I was only putting one guy into the Wrath. So I was just like playing one guy, drawing a card of Revolutionary class, just holding until it got Wrathed. Because Epid didn't have much
Yeah, Epid
single
not
target
drawing
removal. But
their first Hold to the Flame until they were halfway through their deck definitely.
that too, yeah.
Mm.
I don't know if your hands were on this. I don't know if you could see, but I'd had a Revoke Existence in hand for like
Yeah,
10 turns because I had it because no Hold to the Flames had come out, and I was like, maybe I should have used it on the
Weaving of the World. Yeah, we were discussing that in the stream chat.
I figured that the class was more likely to get hit by a Righteous Shards again at some point, so like dumping it on there to just stop the short-term life gain. Like if it gets cleared off the board by a thing, by shards, and then comes back on the board, like I've probably already died if it takes 3 more turns, like after the life gain to hit. So, and then if it, because obviously if the class gets killed, then the enchantment comes back. So I was like, well, I kind of just want to get use this now while it's in play and force the shards to come out to get rid of it, rather than like potentially using your Revoke on it and then losing the class to something and then not having either of them, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm not sure if it was the correct play or not to do.
Okay, so now that you've played through the entire tournament with the deck, what are things that, because we talked sort of about like the roles that cards play, but there's still some that haven't been mentioned here. What are overperformers or underperformers relative to your expectation going into the tournament?
Assemble the Mob is busted. Well, Assemble the Mob with New Divide specifically is busted. So even just casting on turn 2 to make like 4 damage worth of guys, and if you have a 1-drop, you can get like an extra point for free sometimes off that, has been extremely good. But I think that was kind of a known card already, so like no huge surprise on that one. Lichbane Ward Wielder's also just sort of like insane. I had a lot of games that I played where this game not so much because there wasn't many targeted effects, but like, well, this match, I mean, but a lot of the games I played previously, I just sort of had the game where I had a few things on the board and this Ward Wielder in hand, and if any of my stuff got targeted by anything, it was basically like a lock on not losing, because no target removal would do anything, and it was really only Wraths that would like stop. I got to redirect a what's that burn spell where it costs less equal to the power of the target.
Learning Fiendishly.
I got to redirect that to I think Scribble's head to kill him in one of the games, and just stuff like that where I like hold to the flame triggers as well. I'm not sure if I ever actually managed to do that, but like you can redirect to hold to the flame trigger at their face or at like their board, to not die to it as well. And then the Bravewing Hero mob Instigator combo was good, but also like I was siding them out sometimes on the draw against like the slower decks, because I figured that I would just get my stuff swept, and on the draw I might not have the like power to, because I haven't like got a full commitment to the aggressive hands, might not have the power to actually kill before a Wrath came down. So I was kind of shaving to like 2 of each, or 2 and 3, or 3 and 3, just to make room for the like grindier stuff.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the as the games are going, is that you do have some reach in terms of Ferocious Flame and Assemble the Mob plus New Divide, but
yeah,
in general your deck is sort of, because of what you're talking about with the pseudo combo aspect of it, it's like you have powerful explosive early turns and then grindy games with the Revolutionary class, but there really isn't the middle ground of aggro where it's like I punch you down, and then like, okay, if you wipe or like do whatever, I still have like haste or reach to like end the game before you can truly stabilize. that is like an element that isn't as consistent with this deck in
Yeah,
compared
there's
to
like
other ones.
I had a few games where I was able to like Spirited Protest in a Florina after getting my like early creatures wiped, which is pretty good because then you just get the Spirited Protest back and also
Mm,
gain 4 life. But that's not that consistent because there's only two of them and then two Love of a Lifetimes to find them, so you don't have like tons of access to that effect. And often you kind of just want to dump the Spirited Protest ability to trigger like an Assemble the Mob or even to like haste an Unburnt Maiden or something like that. So like holding it for a Florina is not necessarily always good, but yes, other than the Florinas and like to some extent the Unburnt Maidens, there's not like a ton of sort of mid game um, plays that are like that great. And obviously, because there's only a few, you don't tend to draw them. I wasn't drawing them that often. But yeah, I don't know. It's felt like fairly strong to me though. But I did play against a lot of greedy control, so that may have been part of it too. It's just weirdly not that hard to beat Wraths, or it hasn't felt that hard. Like one Wrath is normally not that bad, or hasn't been that bad.
yeah, like Unburned Maiden is a sort of a board in a box. You have Revolutionary Class to like rebuild. There's there's definitely like angles where depending on the method of stabilization for the opposing deck, it feels like you have lots of like again, Symbol of the
Yeah,
Revolution is like a one card. Oops, you're dead if you don't answer me. So like the
hmm
despite like again Bravewing like you mentioned Braving Hero, Mob Instigator, they're not like bad, but they do rely a lot on like working with each other. Um,
yeah,
there are cards which like give you that grind potential. Yeah. So is there anything
yeah.
you think you'd change about the deck going into month 2 of Revolution based on your experience in the tournament?
I think the fourth revolutionary class and the Andali probably want to be in the main deck, but I'm not sure what that means to like shave. I mean, I ended up taking out the Ferocious Flames almost every match, but that was mostly because I played against things that were just had like 0 to 3 creatures in them. Um, and I think you kind of do want access to some of that type of effect main. To get like blockers out the way and stuff. Like I just happened to play against a lot of decks that didn't have any, but there obviously were
Also,
other
like
ones
again,
in.
it's your only reach, so
Yeah, I mean, I was finding a little lack of having because I started them out in this match and I was like, there was obviously a lot of times where one for 4 would have done it, but then it's also like kind of hard to stick a 4 power creature against the kind of decks that um the reach is good
it's
against.
really funny how both you and Epid had red cards with flame in the name that would have really helped you out that you didn't see in the top halves of your deck.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think it's like because it's not you're not actually that weak to the hold the flame in the early turns, depending on your exact hand. Like it's less vulnerable than it looks because you have the Spirited Protest and Assemble the Mobs to make like multiple things.
Mm-hmm. And
And
like
it,
Assemble the Mob naturally buffs them, Brawl it buffs them.
mm,
You have like you have ways to and Revolutionary Class obviously or not Revolutionary Class, sorry,
yeah,
a Mob Instigator. So there's lots of ways to like turn a dinky board into a meaningful threat real quick.
yeah. So they kind of have to respond to like multiple things. And then you have ways that you can kind of like knowing that they have to do that, you can kind of play around that happening to some degree. Um, I think I got like it was probably a good matchup for me in the finals because the cheap spot removal just wasn't really in the 75. Um, and while there's a lot of wraths, it like it's a kind of a thing I can play around and get usually get them low enough that it's kind of like they have to keep tapping out for wraths.
Yeah,
But
I
some
think
cheap
only
spot
being on
removal.
4 Hold to the Flames as a win
Mm,
con slash semi stabilization piece really hurt the deck. Where it's
pretty
like,
much, yeah. Like
yeah,
there was what like some Hellions in the board that I'm not sure if they came in. Obviously, I didn't see any of them. But yeah,
yeah,
there was basically like no sort of permanence apart from those Hold to the Flames. And because I boarded in the 2 revokes and the fourth class, I was just kind of like, well, I can probably not, I can probably like get them before they stick or like get to scale up too much. because I have like just enough life gain to kind of squeeze out maybe like it takes one more activation to kill me kind of range
Mm-hmm.
than it would do for a normal deck because I have like the lifelink on some of the random things. I mean, I it ended up gaining me like what 4 life the I can't remember the name of the card, the one that makes the gadgets that give life things. I just sided in because I was like, well, it's a creature that's probably better than a 1 drop. And
The
it
yeah
gets,
the high life. Yeah.
that's the one. Yeah, because I was like, well, I'm on the draw. Like if I just make a bunch of 1 drops, it probably aren't. It's not going to be quick enough to beat a Wrath. So I'll just side in my bigger sort of value based cards.
Mm.
Um,
Makes sense. Makes sense.
yeah, it's a
Okay.
fun deck to play. I mean,
And last question, um, and the most important one: what card do you think you're gonna champion?
hmm, I don't know. That's a good question though.
Yeah, I think it's your deck feels sort of. There's other decks where it's like there's a central piece or like build around,
Hmm,
right? Here it feels like
it's
we
not.
were just talking through
Yeah.
it. Like every card has a role to play. So
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Symbol of the Revolution already has one, or it has the launch promo or whatever
yeah,
it's
yeah, the
called.
launch
So,
promo.
otherwise that may have been a good choice. But yeah, I mean, Unburnt Maiden might be a good one to do because it's just like a cool card that you know seems like it will be easy-ish to find like cool art for.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Revolutionary Class did a lot, but also it's going to be very difficult to make a new art that is better than the art that is already on it. I feel
Oh yeah.
like so. Yeah, but no, I'm not 100% sure. But Unburnt Maiden would be my hot take selection at the moment if I had to pick one.
Isn't it on hot take because she's not burnt?
Yeah,
But yeah, okay. Thanks for joining me. And
no problem.
yeah, this was. I'm really excited for dissertation. We lots of I think like it lots of cards from duelists that either add to or enable existing archetypes, or as we've seen with some
Mm.
decks like Phoenixes and this very deck that make their own archetypes on their own. So it's going to be interesting to see how uh, the meta adjusts going into month two. But yeah,
Yep, I agree.
until then, this is going to be Caillou signing off for everyone in chat. Follow me if you want to see more custom magic content and also non-custom magic content because I'm going to be streaming more regularly in February. Um, and I think everyone in stream chat is in the Discord, but if not, join the custom magic Discord to play Revolution because it's an awesome format. But yeah, until next time, this is Caillou signing off. See y'all.